Last year marked an exciting new chapter in Winnipeg's musical landscape with the launch of the Contemporary Music Interactive, an initiative dedicated to showcasing some of the best new works by composers connected to Manitoba. Founded by violinists Sophie, Reimer and Sawchyn, CMI brings together emerging composers and provides them with a rare and invaluable opportunity to have their music performed at a professional level, discussed in depth, and ultimately brought to life before an audience. In collaboration with GroundSwell, CMI plays a vital role in supporting the next generation of musical voices, helping young composers demonstrate that their works are both artistically compelling and performance ready. It's a crucial step not only for creative growth, but also for building the kind of experience and recognition that funding bodies and future opportunities depend on. The inaugural season culminated this past May with 2 concerts at Fort Garry Mennonite Fellowship Church, featuring compositions by 8 Manitoba-based musicians. Now, as November arrives, the Contemporary Music Interactive is once again calling for submissions for its 2025-26 season, inviting a new wave of composers to share their ideas, sounds, and visions with the world. And joining me here over Zoom, I am joined by the founders of CMI, Sawchyn and Sophie Reimer Epp. Hello to you both. Great to see you again.
Hello.
Hi, Chris.
So, firstly, we're speaking over Zoom, and it's been a while since I've spoken with you. Where are you both speaking to me from now, and what are you currently doing in your various locations? River?
I'm currently, I just started pursuing my master's degree in violin performance, so I'm coming to you live from Ann Arbor, Michigan. So I'm studying at the University of Michigan.
And Sophie, how about you?
I am in my apartment here in Toronto, and I'm in my 4th year, last year, at my Bachelor of Music and Violin Performance at the University of Toronto.
Amazing. So here we are. We've got another season of the Contemporary Music Interactive. Before we get to the call for submissions, how were the concerts in May, and did they achieve what you had hoped they would achieve?
Oh yeah. I don't think it surpassed any expectations we had were absolutely surpassed, and it was so fantastic. We had great audience turnout. The music, the performances of all the pieces was amazing. Our composers did so well up on the stage. I know that was a new thing for a lot of them. Composers don't often get that main spotlight at the front of the stage, so they all did so fantastic, and we've received really great feedback from our audiences. So yeah, it was amazing.
And River, how about you? What was your impression?
Yeah, it was just so cool. It was one of those moments, when you've been planning a project for so long, it almost starts to feel like fictitious at some point because, at a certain point you actually haven't seen any real faces in a room. And, but as soon as we started rehearsing and, going to the church and getting everything set up. And then as soon as people started walking in, it was just a very surreal experience. And I felt very fortunate that I got to be a part of kind of a new sharing experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Were there any lessons learned, anything that you learned from last year that will help for the planning of this next season?
Well,
yeah.
First of all, that there's so much enthusiasm for the initiative that we've created. I mean, you never know when you're creating something new. Is there going to be demand for it? Are people going to be excited by the idea that you've created? And people definitely were. So that was amazing to see. And we have been slowly but surely, after the concerts happened, been gathering feedback from our audience. I can do a little self-plug for the newsletter that just came out. We've got a form in that newsletter that's for audience feedback. We really want to hear from our audience, and so we're trying to hear as much as possible from people, what they thought, what they think we could work on.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, CMI was supported by GroundSwell as part of their ground floor initiative. Can you talk about some of the ways that GroundSwell helped support you last year? River?
Yeah, GroundSwell was very integral to building us up as a new organization. We really appreciated all the support and guidance we got from some very, very key people, and GroundSwell as an organization was one of those people who kind of helped us build up. And this year, we're looking forward to more collaborations with GroundSwell, but we're not yet completely confirmed whether we'll be going forward with the exact same partnership as we did last year. So we'll have to stay tuned on that for now.
Mm-hmm. It's such an excellent initiative. I mean, as I was prepping for the interview, one of the things I was thinking about is like, yeah, when you're in university, it's sort of like you're as for composers, I remember my composition friends they were composing their pieces and getting them performed at the university. But then when they graduated, it's sort of like, so now what? Like, how's this all going to happen? Why for the both of you, was supporting young composers with CMI so important and getting this initiative off the ground? Sophie, I'll start with you.
Well, I think more than anything, it's that these young composers, they're us. River and I are the demographic that we're targeting. The idea for CMI came from River and I seeing in our own lives that, wow, we're really loving new music, and we just can't get enough of it, and that we wish there were more opportunities for young people. And so then when we started dreaming up all the different aspects of the series, it was like, what would we want in our dream opportunity? If someone offered us a gig or an opportunity to have our music played, what would that look like? And we literally got to build that ourselves and craft that opportunity. So I think that's really the main motivator, is that we had this need ourselves, and we're sure that other young people have that need as well. And so we wanted to create a space where those needs could be met.
Mm-hmm. And River, you're a composer. I mean, why was this important for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been, going through that same struggle that you were talking about, Chris. Ever since I started writing music. Step one is write the music. Step two is share the music. And there are many means of doing so nowadays, which is wonderful. But like Sophie was saying, we found there was just a lack of kind of in-room, up close and personal, intimate sharing experiences for up and coming composers. And I think it's extra special when you get to be in the spotlight as well. Because sometimes, as a composer, you do get a performance, but it could be in Texas or it could be in China. Like it could be miles and miles away. And then you don't really get to experience your role, which I think is very important for someone coming up in the music business to experience.
Yeah. Okay, so you're putting out a call for submissions for new compositions. River, can you talk about the requirements for submission? What are you looking for in the new compositions?
Right. So we're really excited this year to be expanding our operations a little bit and expanding our instrumentation for the call for scores to any instrumentation up to 5 chamber players. And the piece needs to be between 5 and 15 minutes long. So we last year put out a call for string quartet with or without piano, or piano pieces. And we loved the pieces we got. But at the end of the season, I think we were maybe looking forward in hopes to grow as an organization. And I think if the parameters are wider, we're really looking forward to receiving some new pieces by composers we haven't heard and instruments that we haven't yet had a chance to feature at CMI.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk about age limit and length of piece that you're looking for?
Yes. So length of piece, 5 to 15 minutes. And we've yet to kind of set an age limit this year.
Okay.
And we're kind of redefining it to up-and-coming composers.
Something that we discussed actually a lot over the summer was, what does it mean to be an up-and-coming composer? So we talked about this very thing. Should we have an age limit? Is there is there a cap? How old do you need to be before you're no longer considered up and coming? And so in a spirit of wanting to have as many people as possible have this opportunity to have their music played, and recognizing that not everybody gets to start out in their career right away composing music, we wanted to just leave that a little bit ambiguous so that if someone was looking at our requirements and said, I feel like I'm an up and coming composer, that they'd feel welcome to apply.
Mm-hmm. What is the deadline for submissions?
It's January 5th. We wanted to move it up a little bit this year.
Okay, so the 5th has happened and all the submissions are in, and now it's January 6th. What happens next? How do you go through all the compositions and decide which ones are going to get performed in May?
Great question. So we have a similar process that we used last year as well. We're going to be putting together a panel. It's going to be River and myself, and then a few other key compositional new music people from the community, and we're all going to be on this panel, and each of us will listen through all the pieces, consider what's been submitted in the application, and then we'll get together and discuss not only, which compositions do we think will suit CMI's purposes best, but also which ones will make a really great program together, and which of them will be able to fit a theme that we can then present to our audiences in a cohesive way.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I think is so excellent about CMI is that it's not only about the music, there's also the composer's got to get up and talk about their piece and talk about the influences and how they composed it. Is it helpful if they submit that kind of materials with their composition?
Yeah, I mean, in our form that we put out in the call, there is room to tell us what makes your piece unique, and are there any other elements, be it additional media, film, recordings, anything, graphics, anything that you want to be part of your presentation. We include space to include that. And we highly encourage you to think outside the box. If you want to bring a dancer, show a film, something that is integral to your piece that you find you don't always get the chance to share with an audience.
Mm-hmm. And this is something that you did last year. Why was this so important for you? I remember the conversation last year, Sophie, you were talking about how important it is for the composer to be talking to the audience and vice versa. There was just sort of give and take between the two. Why is that so important to you, Sophie?
Well, I think, again, this goes back to how we kind of came up with the idea for CMI in the first place. River and I had both found, as we got into the new music scene, that the more you know and understand about a piece, the more you understand about new music techniques and compositional techniques, the more there is to listen for. It becomes more of a active listening process for the audience member when they know all these things that they can be watching for. And these are things that as musicians, we sometimes have just inherently with us, but as an audience member who may or may not be musically trained or have any experience in that area, we didn't want there to feel like there was a divide because of that. And so, we turned to this more educational format where not only are we experiencing the music together, we're also learning together about what the composer did to get the piece onto the stage the way it is at that time.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any ideas of what you want CMI to look like in 10 years and how you want it to grow? What are you looking forward to? 10 years down the road, River, what do you see?
Oh man, don't even tempt me. So many possibilities. I think we really want to continue to expand ourselves as an organization, and I think having more concerts a year. Currently, we're running 2/3 concerts a year. I think running more, building up. Me and Sophie talked about, bringing in composers from out of province as well. We love to focus on Manitoba and local talent, but maybe find more collaboration out of province and out of country, and kind of open up branches elsewhere. Even something that I've personally thought about down the road. Yeah.
This has been so great. I'm going to wrap up the conversation by asking if composers do want to submit music, how do they do that? Where can they submit their materials?
They can go to our website, which is at cmiwinnipeg.ca, and there's a tab for composers where they'll find the requirements and then the link to the form. They can also find us on social media, and we're just Contemporary Music Interactive, all one word, on Instagram and Facebook. And as well, for other people who may not be composers but want to learn more about CMI, they can also head to our website, and there's all the details about our mission and our past concerts, and also the link for the newsletter that I mentioned earlier. They can sign up with their email if they're wanting to get more updates.
Perfect. River and Sophie, this has been so great to see you both again and talk to you again. All the best on another year of CMI. I hope you receive many submissions. Thanks so much for taking the time to sit down and talk to me today. And I'm sure we'll talk again as we get closer to the concert dates. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris.